Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and this time we're going to be doing a full set of stiletto nails. So as you can see, we are at a different angle. I placed my camera over on the left side of me, so hopefully this video will help someone with this angle, just because well, at first I felt like you can't really see a lot of the things that I'm doing, but on some parts you can, so I went ahead and just decided to upload the video anyways. But right here I'm just removing the shine from the natural nail. I've already pushed back the cuticles before I started recording, but I'm just going in and just removing the shine. To remember that when you're doing this, we're literally only filing to remove the shine, and this is a 180 sanding band, so you don't want to use anything too coarse, because again, you don't want to thin out their nails, because after they get that set off, it's going to hurt because their nails are going to be paper thin. So again, 180 sanding band, just removing the shine from the natural nail, making sure that you focus around that cuticle area and on the sides, because that's where your lifting will come from. So after we finish this, we're just gonna dust the nails off and start applying the nail tips. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and apply the nail tips, and I'm going to be using my clear nail tips. So basically the way to know what tips to use is really just on what you prefer and also what style your clients want. We are doing a clear look, so of course I would need the clear tips. If they just want, a regular color over their nails, then you would just use the natural nail tips. If they want a white French tip, then you could always use white nail tips, so it really just depends on what your client wants, or if not, what you feel comfortable using. If you always do color, like gel polish or just regular nail polish, then you could always just use your natural nail tips. But again, I'm just using my clear nail tips, and I'm using my KDS glue. Remember that when you're applying nail tips, if one tip is too small and the other one is too big, always just go in and use the bigger one and just file it down to fit perfectly, because if you use the smaller one, your nail will crack or lift as well. So make sure that again you're applying the right size tips. And then also when you're doing this, make sure that you're holding your client finger really straight, that way you don't apply the nail on crooked. After that, just of course apply the glue on the nail tip and just glue it on the nail. Hold it down for a few seconds until the glue dries, and this KDS glue dries really fast, so I never have to wait more than literally a few seconds. So I'm gonna go ahead. Alrighty, so after we finish applying the nail tips, this is the part where you would come in and just trim down the nails to their desired length, but she wants to keep them this long, so I'm just going in and just trimming down the size of the nail tip. And this is just going to save us time whenever we go in to actually shape the nails, because we're just cutting down that unnecessary nail tip that we would usually have to file if we weren't to go in and just do this. So once we finish trimming down the nails, we're going to go in and shape the nails. And I am going to tell you right now that I did drop my camera or my phone, so it stopped recording and I didn't realize it, so I didn't catch the whole part of me when I was shaping. But as always, when you're doing stiletto, just file at a 45-degree angle on the side until they're the I guess pointiness, and until they're the shape that your client wants them, which again, she wants stiletto. So I just filed on both sides, just going back and forth, making sure that my nail is not crooked until it's really pointed, and then I just blend the nail tip right in the middle to make it look a lot more natural. And after that, I just applied the primer on the natural nail, and then after that I'm just going in with my acrylic. So as always, I'm using my Mia Secret acrylic system in the color pink, and I'm using my alpha brush in a number 10. I applied that first bead right in the middle of the nail where the natural nail and the tip meets. I'm brushing it down towards the tip. I place my next bead right below that one, and then just make sure that you add as you go. As you can see, my tip was still a little bit thin, so I went ahead and added another bead right below that first one. And then now I'm going to place the other bead closer to the cuticle area, patting it down, making sure that you spread the acrylic all over the nail to make sure that you get a nice coverage around that cuticle area. But you also want to make sure that you do not get it on the skin, because if not, you will get lifting. And if you do get it on the skin, then just wipe it off right away before it gets dried, because if not, it would be impossible to take it off. But remember, each nail is going to be a different case. It depends on how big your first bead was. You might need to add a little bit more, or maybe after you apply the second bead, you have a perfect nail. So of course, you don't have to go back in and add the second, third, fourth bead or whatever. So just add as you go, and then as always, make sure that you look at the nail from different angles as you're working. That way, you know, that's going to determine if you need to add more acrylic or not. And if so, you know, you're going to be able to see where you need to add more acrylic, whether your stress area is too thin or your tip might be too thin. Then of course you would go back and add acrylic there. So just pay attention to what you're doing, and then also remember that you want to make sure that you're working with the amount of acrylic that you can control. So I do recommend that when you're first starting off, that you use a smaller brush. So this is a number 10 brush, and even though I've been doing nails for a while, I still prefer to stay with a smaller brush because I can control my product a lot better. I feel like when I'm using a bigger brush, I'm just adding too much acrylic, and then that's when your nails become too thick and it's not very pretty. So make sure that you just find whatever works for you. A lot of the things that I use or the way that I do things might not work for you, so just whatever you feel more comfortable using is perfect. But we're going to go ahead and finish off the acrylic application. Again, I'm using the 4-ball method, which is the first one right in the middle of the nail where the natural nail and the tip meets. Another one right below that one. A third one right above the first one. And then a fourth one closer to the cuticle area. And then of course, just add more if you need it. Alrighty, so it's been the same process over and over and over again. As you can see, we have a nice stress area, and once you have a nice stress area, that's going to help from, you know, breaking any nails, because if you bump your nail on anything and you don't have that nice stress area, most likely your nail will break off. So make sure that you're very careful with that. And then also making sure that you clean around that cuticle area really good, that way you don't have any acrylic on the skin. And then after we finish applying the acrylic, we're going to go ahead and reshape the nails, and we're going to be using that same 100 nail file to reshape those nails. This is a step that you don't want to skip, because as you can see, if you look closely, you can see those little rough edges on the sides of the nails, and you want to make sure you go in and just even all of the nails out on the side, and that you have that perfect shape that you want. So again, this is a 100 nail file, and we're just reshaping those nails. Alrighty, so once we finish reshaping the nails, I'm going in with my fine drill bit to file the nails. And I'm sorry that you can't really see, but again, I was trying to find a good angle. So this video might help with some things, but not all of them, obviously. So I'm just going around the cuticle area, of course, just going back and forth from the right side over to the left side, and then also just following the rest of the nail to make sure that it's nice and smooth. But you want to focus on that cuticle area mainly, because that's where your lifting will come from. You want to just go from the right side over to the left side until you're able to see where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is. That way you know that the acrylic is not on the skin. And then I'm using my fine drill bit by McCart, so I'll be sure to leave that link down in the description. And yeah, after we're done this, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next step. Alrighty, so after we finish filing all of the nails, we're just going to go in with the buffer, and we're just going to buff every nail. So remember, when you're buffing the nails, this is just to make sure that you get rid of any of those scratches left on your nail from the hand file or the e-file. So make sure that you buff really good, because if not, if you leave any of those scratches on the nail, you will be able to see those through your polish. So this step is really important as well. And once we're done doing this, we're just going to dust the nails off and wipe them off with an alcohol wipe. Alrighty, so after that, we just dust the nails off, and then we're going to just wipe the nails off with an alcohol wipe. And then I'm going to show you what the nails look like afterwards. Right here, as you can see, they look really nice, not too thick, not too thin, and we have a nice apex. And then here is another view. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at GetNail32, and I'll see you guys next time.